When you run large language models locally, the trade-off between intelligence and speed is always there. You want a model that is genuinely smart, but you also want it to respond fast enough that you are not staring at the screen waiting. Today we are looking at two models that embody this tension perfectly, running the exact same quantization on the exact same hardware, using the exact same amount of VRAM, and yet performing like completely different beasts. We are comparing Ornith 1.0 35B against Qwen 3.6 35B A3B. Both are a mixture of experts models with around 3 billion active parameters per token from a total of 35 billion. Both were tested using UDIQ4NL quantization from Unsloth. Both fit entirely on GPU, all 41 layers offloaded, using exactly 12,194 megabytes of VRAM each. That is right, byte for byte identical memory usage. You can swap between these two without touching a single configuration setting. The tests ran on a Ryzen 7800 X3D with an RTX 4070 Ti Super, using llama.cpp with flash attention enabled and high precision Q8 KV cache. 10 prompts per model, ranging from 30 token short queries all the way up to nearly 25,000 tokens of context. Every generation was set to 256 tokens. Let us start with intelligence, because that is what most people care about first. Qwen 3.6 brings an enormous evaluation portfolio with scores across 29 benchmarks. It hits 85 on MLU Pro, 93 on MMLU Redux, 86 on GPQA Diamond for graduate level science reasoning, and an outstanding 92.6 on AME 2026 for competitive math. These are near frontier numbers for a model this size. It also scores 80.4 on LaveCode Bench, 90 on CEval, and 89 on the HMMT Math Competition Series. Qwen is a generalist powerhouse with deep coverage across math, science, and coding. Ornith takes a different approach. Deep Reinforce published 10 benchmarks, focused almost entirely on agentic coding. Where both models overlap, they are strikingly close. SWE Bench, verified, 75.6 for Ornith versus 73.4 for Qwen. SWE Bench, Pro, 50.4 versus 49.5. SWE Bench, Multilingual, 69.3 versus 67.2. Ornith edges ahead on every shared coding benchmark, and its biggest lead is on Claw Eval, where it scores 69.8 against Qwen's 68.7. Ornith also posts strong scores on Terminal Bench 2.1, 64 on the Terminus 2 variant, and 62.8 on the Claude Code variant. If your workload is terminal-based agents and autonomous coding, Ornith's specialized reinforcement learning training delivers a clear advantage. But the intelligence story is only half the picture. The hardware performance is where things get genuinely fascinating. Generation speed. The tokens per second you see streaming across your screen is a statistical dead heat. Ornith averages 60.1 tokens per second across all prompts. Qwen averages 59.97. You would never notice the difference. However, the pattern underneath is different. Ornith is remarkably stable. Its generation speed drops only about 6% from short to long contexts. Qwen peaks higher on medium-length prompts at 64 tokens per second, but falls 14% on long contexts down to 54.9. For short interactive chats, they feel identical. For long-running agent sessions, Ornith stays more predictable. Now for the headline finding. Prompt processing speed, how fast the model reads and understands your input, before it starts generating, is where these two models completely diverge. Ornith processes prompts 3.5 times faster than Qwen on average. On short prompts, it is about 2.6 times faster. On medium-length prompts in the 1 to 3,000 token range, it is 3.4 times faster. And on long 25,000 token contexts, it is over 4 times faster, 5,147 tokens per second versus Qwen's 1,236. In wall clock terms, a 25,000 token prompt takes Ornith under 5 seconds to process. Qwen takes 20 seconds. Why does this gap exist? The answer almost certainly lies in the architectures. Qwen 3.6 uses gated DeltaNet for 75% of its attention sublayers. It is an innovative linear attention mechanism, efficient in theory, but it cannot benefit from flash attention acceleration in llama.cpp. Ornith, built on the Qwen 3.5 architecture, uses standard attention across all its sublayers, so flash attention accelerates everything. You are comparing a model where only a quarter of its computation gets hardware levels optimization against a model where all of it does. An alternative factor may be Qwen's more complex MoE routing, 256 experts, with 8 routed plus 1 shared per token, potentially adding per token overhead that compounds on long sequences. This has massive real-world implications. End to end, from hitting enter to seeing the full response, the numbers tell a clear story. For short chat messages under 100 tokens, both models respond in about 4.3 seconds. You will not notice a difference. For medium-length prompts around 2,000 tokens, Ornith delivers in 4.7 seconds versus Qwen's 6.8. That is a 2-second advantage you will actually feel. For long 20,000 token contexts, Ornith finishes in under 8 seconds, while Qwen takes over 21 seconds. At that point, the gap is not just noticeable. It defines whether the tool feels usable. So which one should you run? If your workload is interactive chat with short to medium prompts and you want the broadest possible intelligence, math, science, general knowledge, and vision capabilities, Qwen 3.6 is the better choice. Its generation sweet spot in the 1 to 3,000 token range and its massive benchmark coverage make it a versatile Swiss Army knife. But if you're running coding agents, processing long documents, building RAG systems, or doing anything where the model has to ingest substantial context before responding, Ornith is the clear winner. Its prompt processing dominance means you spend less time waiting and more time working. On the codings and agent tasks where it overlaps with Qwen, it matches or beats the scores. These two models are a perfect demonstration that raw parameter count is not everything. Same size, same quantization, same VRAM, same active parameters per token, and yet one reads 4 times faster while the other brings broader intelligence. The choice comes down to whether your bottleneck is input or output. Let me know in the comments which one you would pick for your workload and how it performs on your own hardware.